I have to tell you a little story. This is the story of Hanuman, the monkey god. You all have heard of him. If you haven't, that describes it all, the monkey god. He's known for his vitality. He's known for his discrimination as an adult. When he was young, he was so powerful, even as a baby, even as a 3-year-old. All 3-year-olds have a lot of energy. But even in the august company of highly energetic 3-year-olds, Hanuman was off the charts. One day his mother, for various reasons, she's a single mom, and she's in a beautiful hut high in the mountains, and she's put Hanuman outside. And it is sunrise, and he sees the sun rising, Hanuman does, the 3-year-old monkey. And in his mind, understanding and misunderstanding, in his mind, he thinks it's a delicious apple. So he wants the apple, so he jumps at the sun. Such is his power, extraordinary power, that when he jumps, he goes up 500 feet, 1,000 feet, into the upper atmosphere, into the vacuum of space, and all the way to the disk of the sun, and he's about to hold the sun. He's unaffected by it. Now, this is a bad thing, because the sun thinks, well, the job I signed up for is simply to sit on this chariot and make my way from east to west, take my rest, come back the next day, and I really have to keep up my time because people set their clocks by me. So I cannot have some random monkey come and pull me off my orbit. This is against cosmic law. But the sun doesn't know. He's just sitting on a chariot. He's just sitting on a chariot going from one place to the other. So the king of gods, whose responsibility it is of all of these things, Indra is his name. He is very irritated by this monkey. A monkey in space about to hold the sun. Who's ever heard of this? So he has an indomitable weapon called the Vajra, means diamond. And he takes that weapon and throws it at Hanuman. And it hits Hanuman on his left jaw. And the baby is unconscious, plummets down to the earth. And the mother, she's shocked. It's like, my baby is in there. First she was shocked. Then it's falling down. The baby is unconscious, and the left jaw is now swollen. And soon she realizes what happened, and she is angry, so angry. A mother's anger cannot be trifled with, because it comes from a pure place. There is no agenda there. How dare you harm my baby? So even the gods know this. They see the mother getting angry, and now they're afraid, because the mother's anger can disturb the laws of the universe. Nothing stands in its way. That's God's law. So the gods come down, say, sorry, dear mother, we don't know what we were thinking. And so the god of fire comes down, and then he says, I will bless your son, and touches his forehead and says, Hanuman is now impervious to fire. You will not be burned by fire. The god of water, you will not be drowned by water. The god of wind says, you will not be disturbed by the wind. And on, Hanuman slowly transforms into an indefatigable, indomitable, invulnerable being, 3-year-old monkey. And then Brahma, the creator, comes down. He's sitting on a lotus, Padma, and he's riding Hansa, the divine swan, and he swoops down from the heavens. He's an impossibly ancient being with big, long, white beard and 4 faces. And he says with the voice of creation itself, Hanuman, you are invulnerable, but karma is karma. Whether you knew it or not, you jumped up and you are about to disturb the cosmic order, and you have to pay for it. So I curse you that even though you have all these powers, you forget all of them. You'll have no smriti, no memory of it. And then Hanuman grows up to be an adult. He thinks he's an ordinary monkey, so he's an ordinary monkey in a legion of monkeys living in the forest in a great monkey kingdom. And then one day, Rama, who is God incarnate, God walking in human form, comes into the forest. It's a whole another story. He's a banished prince because of palace shenanigans, and he's banished into the forest for 14 years with his wife and brother, and his wife is abducted by the 10-headed evil king Ravana, long story. But he is in search of his wife, and he comes into the monkey kingdom, and he sees Hanuman. And the moment he sees him, he tells his brother, look at this monkey. This is no ordinary monkey. He thinks he is ordinary. Look at the way he speaks. It's a beautiful episode in the Ramayana. Look at the way he speaks. Look at the way he walks. He sees great divinity in Hanuman in every action that he does. And later on, at a critical time, when time comes for Hanuman to jump the ocean, to move into the kingdom of the demon to see if Sita is alive, Rama tells him, do you not remember? Fire cannot burn you, water cannot drown you, wind cannot disturb you, no weapons can harm you. You jumped at the sun when you were 3 years old. You can jump this paltry 100 miles, and Hanuman remembers. And he grows as tall as the mountain. He climbs another mountain so that it can tolerate the power of his jump. And then he does so many wonderful things in his life. And when Rama is back into the kingdom, the other people are saying, why does the monkey get so much credit? The monkey comes in and Rama says, he's my right-hand man. It's not even a man, it's just very disturbing to people. So Hanuman says, it's very simple. He rips open his chest, and in there, instead of a beating heart, they see Rama and Sita sitting. Say, this is where all my power comes from. This is a metaphor for the soul. The soul, it says in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, a very famous verse, it says, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, nanu shoshayati marutaha. The soul cannot be harmed by weapons, cannot be burned by fire, cannot be wet by water, cannot be disturbed by wind, meaning it's eternal. That infinitude is the quality of the soul, but we have the curse of the Creator, banished from the Garden of Eden, that we have no memory of it. We do have the memory of where we came from. That's what inspiration is. You go to a talk, you read a book, you have a deep meditative experience. We get inspired. That inspiration is not exogenous. It's not something that comes to us from the outside. The memory of who we actually are is prodded, is awakened by the words that we read or hear, or in the calmness of deep meditation when the restlessness goes away, as it says in the Gita reading today, who we really are bubbles up. So we're very inspired. And then we go back and say, okay, my entire life has changed. I dedicate myself to Thee, Lord. How will He find us awake and ready? And pretty soon we go to sleep, neither awake nor ready. And about a week later, the whole thing's forgotten. So we come back for another talk. The slate is wiped clean, awake and ready, go back. And this can go on for an entire lifetime or multiple lifetimes. See, it's not so much that we need to remember the smriti. The memory needs to be sustained. Otherwise, it disappears. That's why in all spiritual traditions, there is no exception to this, the 3 S's are emphasized. Seva, sadhana, satsanga. Seva is service. By serving others, we recollect that we are all children of God. Sadhana, by inward practice. For us here, disciples of Paramahansa Yogananda, it's the path of yoga. Our practice is meditation, and for those of us who are Kriyabans, she had this blessed, wonderful Kriya initiation weekend last Saturday. Our path, our sadhana, is a path of meditation, which brings calmness to the mind. And in that calmness, raga and dvesha, likes and dislikes, move to the side, and the memory of who we really are bubbles up endogenously, inwardly. Satsanga, company of all of us with a similar purpose of seeking God, again reinforces the memory of who we really are. Seva, sadhana, satsanga, the 3 S's of the spiritual path. But I told you, seva, sadhana, satsanga are They move the dial, but they don't transform. What transforms is the presence of the Guru, the teacher. You see, that's what Rama was for Hanuman. The moment he saw him, Rama knew that this soul is ready. And he says, do you not remember, Hanuman? What is beyond you? Yogananda used to say, whose teachings we follow here, he used to say that if you could only see yourselves as I see you, you're all beings of light. See, that's Seva is good, sadhana is good, practice, satsanga is good, company of like-minded people. But they have to be charged by the consciousness of the Guru. Guru's grace performs miracles on our behalf. But they're not miracles. What the Guru does is, by the sheer presence, magnetism of his or her consciousness, the Guru constantly awakens in us the memory of who we really are, so that it's not lost in the din of other memories. Okay? So, in the presence of the Guru, with seva, service, sadhana practice, satsanga, company of like-minded people, we are ready to walk back and reach our home. The majestic promise of the scriptures is, by proud indifference, unaffected, though eternally rejected, he remains our friend